Hello everyone, a very good afternoon. Welcome back to the Wigan Robin Park Arena for continued live coverage from the Ultimate Pool Series. And we have reached semi-final time. We are bringing you live coverage of the Women's Pro semi-final. Kirsty-Lee Davies takes on Leanne Cragg. Mark Shepherd and Barbara Taylor with you for this one. We've got the two ladies semi-finals in progress. This one on the main arena table, also over on YouTube. Got the other semi-final just kicking off. We'll then be turning our attention to the Men's Pro Series finals. Pro Series semis and final. Lots of pools still to be played tonight. Kirsty-Lee Davies, not a surprise to see in this final. She's vying for the _1 spot, and if she wins one more match here, she will overtake Marion Jude, #1 in the provisional rankings. Leanne Cragg, not a surprise per se, but a more surprising player to have made it through to these semis. She's had a pretty good run through. You've obviously been watching a bit of this, Babs, and playing in it earlier on. How have you seen this tournament unfold?
Well, I was saying when I was on commentary with Simon, the quarter-final match between champs and 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Every event that we're coming to now, I think the standard on the ladies' game is just, you can just see it every time. Sometimes it's small, sometimes it's big, but I think the standard's improving. Leanne obviously is riding on the back of a really good run in the World Masters in Ireland a few weeks ago. So she's obviously feeling very good about her game at the moment, and she's literally been able to run that form into this weekend. So I think it looks like this could be an interesting match in terms of, whereas maybe normally you would probably, well, not probably, you would have Kirsty as favourite on paper to win this match. The way Leanne's been playing at the moment at the World Championships, she's definitely up for taking Kirsty out. So there could be an upset on the cards.
Well, if you look back at our quarter-final, Leanne beat Mary Talbot 7-2. Mary was one of the hotly tipped players for this weekend.
Yeah.
She won her first match 7-1. I think it was 7-0 in the second one. She looked to be in really good form.
Yeah.
We saw Kirsty Lee out in this main arena table earlier on today playing Sarah Waite. She had quite a, as you say, gung-ho, but she was playing a positive style as she always does. And Sarah played some good stuff, but just couldn't quite get it going. So it was allowing Kirsty to just go for everything. Be interesting to see whether she tries the same here or whether she feels she needs to rein it in a bit.
I think that's Kirsty's style of play. She's very aggressive. She plays the game in its purest form. It's very rare she'll turn stuff down, but she can also let her arm go and can throw in a real loose one. I mean, obviously she had a slightly awkward cue in there, but they're pots that you would expect her to get. But I feel in the last couple of events maybe she has let those loose ones creep into her game, but she's still a great cueist. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of pure cueing, she's one of the best, if not the best in the world, isn't she?
Yeah.
Sometimes the position and patterns that maybe let her down, although we're only talking about small margins.
Yeah.
This is a nice opening start, though, for Leanne. These yellows all clustered together at one end of the table, so not too much to do.
I think I'd be tempted to take the outside, one of the two into the top right first, rather than go for the inside one. But again, it's all down to personal preference. Obviously, that was a lot straighter than it looked. It looked like a cut in there at one point.
See, Zach Shepherd, Leanne's better half or worst half. I don't know which way around we say it when it's the man in the crowd.
It's got to be worst. Yeah, definitely got to be worst. Yeah.
He's had a good weekend. Got off to such a good start against Chris Melling. Unfortunately became part of the narrative of the amazing Chris Melling comeback, which he'd pretty much got that match won until Chris turned it on with about 3.5 minutes to go.
This is a nice settler for Leanne.
Yeah, she's taken these well. They weren't in a difficult position, but still, you've got to make them. Race to 7, as it's been throughout the competition. 50 minutes on the match clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock. Dropping down to 15 seconds if we get into the last 10 minutes. Leanne's obviously now had a fair amount of big match experience, but she'll have had less time out in this main arena than Kirsty-Lee will have done.
Yeah, for sure. But again, you know, we've even just recently in Ireland, we've had the shootout. We've had the team semi-final. She was in the Masters. She got to reach the semi-finals there. So she's had a couple of rounds at least, I believe, in that. So, yeah, it's and again, that was a discussion earlier on today. You know, the more players do something and the more they get used to the environment, the better the standard will be, and that's becoming more and more apparent, event on event, and especially more so. We were talking about going down to the 15-second shot clock, which is a massive difference between 30 and 15, obviously, and for some of the players who have found it difficult, just embracing it and realising that you haven't got time to walk around and you have to trust your instinct on what the right ball is to go for, takes confidence, and that will only come by the more you do something. So, yeah, it's just going. It's just strength to strength, in my opinion.
For sure, the depth of this women's pro field has just got better and better, hasn't it? I mean, it wouldn't have been possible, I don't think, to have a pro division a few years ago, whereas now half the field are more than capable of winning the event.
Yeah, I think that line, it used to be for a long time, there was only probably, say, 3 or 4 that were capable of winning an event. Then it sort of branched out and sort of went 6, 7. And now, if you look at some of the results, not just the results, but it's the actual quality of play, you're almost getting to that point when you look, and again, it sounds silly, I was talking with Simon earlier, and the highest ranked player still left in the men's earlier on was number 12, which was obviously Chris Mellin. But again, you're getting to a point where most can beat each other on the day. So there are no easy rounds. It's working its way into that position. So, but I just think the conditions as well. There's a lot of ladies out there that I think would if you put the word professional on it, they go, oh no, that's not for me, and I'm not good enough, and I'm not. You are good enough. I think people need to believe a little bit more, believe in the process, and you also get given the best conditions to play in, then the best pool will show. And do you know what I'm saying? It's. I just think there needs to be a bit more belief in the ladies, from the ladies players in their own game.
Yeah, it's funny. It's almost the opposite of some of the men, isn't it? Sometimes they're almost overconfident in their ability, and needing to say there's room for improvement still.
Yeah, you look at the challenger ladies and some of the clearances that they take out, and some of the players that are at the top end of the rankings in the challenger series, they will doubt the fact that they should be moving into the pro section, when for me they have no reason to doubt themselves. I think they're more than capable. But sometimes you just can't convince people. It's a big step for some people, but I think it's more a step in name and the name itself. It's a bit like if I said you were playing for the Dog and Duck Trophy, or you change that banner to World Championships, and everybody goes, ooh. Yeah, it's just another comp with a different field of players.
Yeah, for sure, and that's why being out in this arena and getting the experience is all important. Once you've done it and you've convinced yourself, well, perhaps more than other people, that you're capable, then you settle down and you do play to your full potential. Oh, where's this cue ball going? It's going to stop in time.
Sometimes you just get that grippy shot where it grips straight away and you just lose the white. Oh.
It's okay for the next shot. She's going to have to sacrifice a bit of distance for the last yellow.
Well.
Or just smash it in. That'll work as well.
But she's landed with the worst angle, worst position possible.
Yeah, she's put all that work in to actually end up with the worst angle than if she's just rolled the ball.
Yeah.
She'll be fine with this pot, but it's a question of, she's obviously going to have great shape on the 8 ball. So she might try and roll through a bit further. That's about as hard as she could have left it.
Yeah, I think she was looking at running it through for the middle, but
so big shot coming up to end this second frame.
she's overcut it. Wow. You wouldn't think that was possible from that angle, would you?
No, it did look very thin. She also managed to disturb the reds out in a position that are all quite easy now. Good chance for Leanne to get her second frame. So it's the third match for both players this weekend. Both had byes in the last 32 stage, so they've played the last 16 and a quarter-final to get to this point. Another bit of a break after this, and then we'll be bringing live coverage of the final later on. You can see why she's been doing well this weekend. The two clearances that we've seen so far have both been fairly routine, but she's had good control and she's looked like getting them from the off.
She keeps it very simple, Leanne. Again, it's not a complicated game. I think people sometimes make it more complicated than it needs to be, but I'm not saying she's certainly got it in a locker, but she does keep it simple, Leanne. There's no need for heroics.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, certainly the two players in this match, she has kept it simpler. She has had the simpler chances, so it's not an entirely fair comparison.
Oh.
I mean, that one actually was a shot she didn't really need to force an angle, and you think she could just have rolled it in that time.
Yeah.
So, a let-off for Kirsty-Lee. Needed a second chance on the 8 ball, but gets the job done. So 2 frames played, 1 each side of the scoreboard. Just over 10 minutes of the match clock used up.
Yeah, I must admit that shot up into the top right seemed a little rushed. When she got down, she seemed to play the shot quite quickly, so considering the composure and the rest of the pace in the rest of the clearance.
Yeah, it was a surprising miss having got that far, but often it is the last ball, I guess, that can get away from you. You guys obviously had a good trip, the England team, to Ireland recently.
Yeah, England as a nation had some great results in. We've got singles champions and masters champions and quite a few of the team titles and doubles. So yeah, it was a very successful event for England as a country, right the way across the board from the juniors right up to the over 60s. We had doubles pairing winning there, and obviously the young superstar Jaden Billingham not doing too shabby for his last event as a junior player.
Yeah, you kind of forget he's still a junior player because he's playing in these pro ranks.
Yeah. So again, keeping this simple, you've got to expect Leanne to be taking these out here. That cue ball's a killer. It's just flying.
Yeah, sometimes that adrenaline, you want to try and cue it properly, you end up almost cueing it too pure. Always seems to be the case that these main arena tables play quicker. I mean, there's no real explanation. Back in the day, the explanation was always that they had big lights over them, but I mean now the LED lights are not really giving out much heat. So as you get more people crowded around them, perhaps it makes it a bit warmer. Just seems to always play just that little bit quicker than the same, or seemingly the same identical outside table.
Yeah, I would say when you're playing on the TV tables, it definitely feels, as a player, it definitely feels warmer.
We've certainly seen some big crowds gather around for some of the matches. Good effort, but that was always going to be a tricky shot, cutting the ball up the rail from distance. Yeah, now he's got a shot at the ball to the bottom left-hand corner. She knows she's going to get some chances. Kirsty-Lee is one of the best kyists in the world. Does play quite an open game. Some reassurance of that when you're the opposition. You know you'll probably get a chance or two. Oh, that's unlucky. She's lost the cue ball into the corner. Well, in fact, it's very lucky to have stayed.
You can't park there.
Well, how has that stayed on the table?
Wow.
Would have been very harsh if it had gone in, but it did look like it was going to.
Whoops. Love it.
Options a bit limited from there. She's seen enough to play the loss of turn. Can she even play that in a way that would leave it safe?
I'm not so sure. I think she's going to have to go cushion first for this one. That's probably the best she could ever have hoped for. That's a really good shot.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of different things going on in that shot. To get the cue ball up to the top cushion and pot the ball is pretty ideal.
I think this is a pattern with Kirsty. She does like to let her arm go and be aggressive, but when the splits aren't working, it's, I won't say it's not how good your B game is. Well, it is really, I suppose, but she does tend to try to stay true to herself and keep going when sometimes if it's not happening, you need to just change tack a little bit. But I do like the way she will continue to still try to be aggressive.
Yeah, it's just such a positive style she plays the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. But again, for me, that's pull. Although I can be the most boring person in the world when I'm playing, and I can tighten it up, but yeah, she does like to go game. But I think Leanne can actually screw into the yellow and push it over towards. Oh, she's actually got it. I don't think she obviously didn't want that.
Yeah, she'd have thought she was doing reasonably well just to get that over the pocket. She did it too well in the end. She's got a problem here because she doesn't really want to move the one that's tying up the red, but she can. That's the only ball she can see direct. Play off the left-hand side cushion for this one. Oh, she spotted that as well.
And for my next trick.
Well, if she could find one more, she might be all right, but this is going to be the hardest one.
Well, at least she's laughing, so it's because she's just too good.
She'd come to the table and you said she's going to pot the first two balls. You thought that was crazy.
Yeah. It's just she's having a look. Does the white squeeze in through that gap?
She could get the yellow.
Does, yeah.
Yeah, she could get the yellow travelling a bit if she can find this gap. Well, not miles off, but that was always asking a lot. Kirsty-Lee will be happy to see that passage of shots coming out of thin air disappearing. So just to screw up the two balls to the right-hand corner. At some point she's going to have to play up the table. The two balls are on the top cushion, but not yet. That shot suggests that the ball passes the 8 ball to the right centre.
Yeah, I think if she can drop it dead weight, she can just leave enough angle to be able to stun up off of that. The red that's by the black spot, yeah. So she should be able to stun up nicely as long as she's not too straight. But even if she's dead straight, if she screws it straight back, she'll be towards the middle pocket. She'll be able to miss the black and come out. So there you go.
It's a good shot. If you're as good a Q as she is, you can make so much angle off a seemingly straight ball.
Yeah. I think I would have preferred a bit more angle than that off of that ball, but she's got plenty of different options. Yeah, I think she's looking at going cushion first with a bit of side, and then that'll ping it out for her. Oh, watch the white ball. No, it's all right.
Yeah, I think for a moment, the pace just seemed to go and go. I think it was tracking towards the pocket. Ooh, unexpected miss. It wasn't a formality, but it probably wasn't a shot you'd expected as a miss.
No, it's like it's very awkward queuing, but you would expect her to get that.
So, gift-wrapped opportunity for Leanne. Oh, surely not.
No.
Trying to play the positive shot, I guess, twice across. It felt like she could just drop it in off one cushion.
Yeah. I'm surprised at that shot.
Should just about be okay with the pot, but the cue ball's going to be running. Oh, good lord. Well, that's gone all wrong from both players towards the end of this frame.
And Leanne right now really needs to try and sort ahead, because obviously that's the last two frames she's literally just handed back to Kirsty. So, and I know she's smiling, but I know I'd be absolutely fuming.
Yes, so smiling outwardly, you're saying, but not inside.
Yeah, I don't even know whether I'd be smiling outwardly, to be fair. But Leanne's she's so chill when she's playing. Leanne, she's because I was literally just thinking in my head, if I was Kirsty, if Leanne had took them out, if I was Kirsty, I'd be standing there and saying, well, that's 1-1 now, because I shouldn't have had the last one. So it's 1-1. Get it out your head, forget it. And same as Leanne, just because you'd be saying, right, that's 1-1, so that's equaled out the last mistake. Start again. It's because everything's all about mind, tricking your own mind, you know, and how you address the match as it goes on. But obviously, I didn't anticipate Leanne doing that. I thought she was just going to drop that ball in the top.
Yeah, I don't know what she was doing using that right-hand side cushion at all.
Just took the pace out of that. Nice little nudging the white out of the way. That red to go in the top left. But a bit of work to do on these. A bit messy.
Doesn't look like there's a gap through to the red next to these two yellows, or at least not a gap to hit it. There's not a gap to pot it.
I'm not sure it goes anyway. And I think the way those two are tied up at the top of the table, I think I might have been tempted to just develop that, just push it down towards the bottom left.
Just leave the white frozen to the yellow.
Yeah, just stuck down there.
Well, develops one ball, still got the problem ball that we've just been talking about. Options limited though for Kirsty. They were attacking. She tries to manufacture a plant. There's a kind of shot to nothing. May just have done enough to block the red that's near the middle pocket, in which case Leanne's got 2 balls tied up.
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously at this point you would have to say that Kirsty's favourite for this frame.
"22 minutes played already, and only 3 frames in the book, so not been the quickest pace of play. That yellow's in. Seems to try to leave an angle on one of the balls to the left centre. She's trying to come down into the cannon of, into the cluster of 2 yellows and a red.
I'm not so sure she has to, because I think the yellow that's by the red, that obviously passes, so I think you can just use that as a normal pot to develop the other one. I don't think there's any real need to. Certainly not from that angle, but she might have no choice now, because it still cuts. And knowing how aggressive she can be, I don't think she'll be going for a double. Yeah, she's going to go. And it would have been perfect, yeah. Another opportunity for Leanne.
That is something Kirsty-Lee's going to need to tighten up on if he does want to progress further in this tournament. She did give away quite a few chances in her match against Sarah White. Sarah didn't quite capitalise on.
Yeah.
If Leanne does start taking the chances, the scoreline could get away from her. Right now, though, she's been gifted a couple back. Oh, goodness, as we see. Surprise miss. Leanne was so focused on where the cue ball was going, it never occurred to her she could miss the red.
Yeah.
Now Kirsty does have a problem with that bottom left-hand corner.
So that you would have to take it from that shot that yellow, that red must pass into the left centre, because if it didn't, you would be just bumping that yellow out or playing a loss of turn from that point. It's hard to. It doesn't look like it does go, does it?
No, maybe off the top jaw, but it does look very tight.
Again, I think if it doesn't, you've got to be moving this one down here.
Well, plays a different loss of turn. So Leanne's got 2 balls that do pot. The red to the left centre may or may not go past the yellow.
It would be really interesting to see.
Well, 3 pairs of reds and yellows around the table now. So she's going for the positive double.
I think she's playing a loss of turn. So now we'll find out.
Yeah, if the red does pot to the left centre, that's not a very good shot. You've got to assume it doesn't from the way Kirsty's played that loss of turn. But it sort of feels like you ought to be able to make that red if you had to involve the yellow. An intriguing few shots. been very much in the balance.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's a bit of a questionable loss of turn, I think, from Kirsty, if that ball was available.
I didn't think on the overhead it went, but from this seat it's always awkward, isn't it? But
that's a good shot. So, a chance to make amends for the last frame. This 8 ball to level things up at 2 apiece.
it's been one of them matches where it's like, you have this one, I'll have this one, you have this one.
Yeah, it's not been entirely convincing as Zach looks on. News from the other women's semi-final. Amy Beecham 2-1 up on Casey Ranford-Norrie.
Casey's playing really well at the moment. Really well.
Another member of your England team.
Yeah, yeah. She, again, for her age and being one of the youngsters, she definitely had some memorable performances while we were away.
She's a great shot maker, isn't she? Knocking anything from anywhere.
But again, it's as well as Casey, there was Savannah Lowe, Vanessa Scott, and it's that valuable or invaluable experience of it's always a lot easier when you're in the group stages and there's no pressure on it, but when you hit the semi-finals, when you can't afford to lose, and then the pressure ramps up, it's learning how to be able to cope and deal with that. And I think that type of experience will only stand them in good stead for these events as well as future internationals. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, international events are brilliant, aren't they, for the handling the pressure, because the situation of playing for your teammates and the situation of lots of people watching,
yeah,
it toughens you up.
Yeah, it can also kill you as well, but yeah, it's the more you do it, and when you think that they're literally babies, she's what, 23, yeah. God. Nearly 30 years on her. No, they all of them did really well. And again, Savannah's doing very well on the Challenger Series. For me, she should be in this section. And there's a few players like that out there. Kirsty Clugston. Again, Jeanette Baptiste. There's a number of players that I think could quite easily fit in this environment. So hopefully we'll see some nice new faces next year.
Well, I think if you've been at the events and watching, you can't help but be impressed by the facilities and the format, and it's just a great opportunity to be out playing.
I don't think you can get a... It's difficult, isn't it? It's like playing in Hackney Marshes and then coming and getting to play at Anfield, or... I had to say Anfield, didn't I? I think there's a little delicate shot needed here. To be able to leave that yellow that's tied with the black, with the red into the right centre.
I think she wants to overdo this. She can't afford to get too close.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I think it was always right to just... You've got to keep the cue ball an inch or two away from the yellow. If you'd landed too close to it, it just makes it so much harder.
Yeah.
We'll keep the good pots coming, though.
Did you see enough of this? The fact that she's standing looking makes me think that it's a bit tighter than it looks.
Yeah, I don't think she's relishing the shot, that's for sure.
She might need just a touch aside on this. Is she looking at playing it off the red? Taking a little nick off the red.
Hard to judge from this distance. As in, it's hard to judge that cannon off the red and get it perfect.
There's Megan Proctor. She did try to play it off of the red. So obviously she couldn't see enough to play it, which is unlucky really, because it's been a lovely little clearance. Nice cut into the middle, and then just that nudge is... And again, you're talking not even probably quarter ball roll, and you're on the black. So it's deserved better, I feel, there, Kirsty.
Not for the first time in this match. Leanne left the chance of a counter clearance.
Yeah.
Turns down the ball to the centre and goes up the table.
I must admit, I am frowning. I'm a little surprised at that shot selection. I think I might have maybe even took one to the left centre and then right centre and then worked my way up. But she still cued it well, but she's got a tricky plant now. I think she's going to be playing it with a snooker in mind. Yeah, well, she didn't even try the plant.
Decent enough shot, because if she can extract ball in hand, so much to the better, and even if she doesn't, she should be left a shot at least one of the reds. So Kirsty's going to try and make this ball.
Well, you got a complete free go now, haven't you?
Yeah, it just takes the pressure right off, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't even have to. It's a really nice opportunity, especially at 2-2. Especially with the shot clock at 18 minutes, 18 and a half minutes. You are getting into the nitty-gritty part, and things can get a little bit tight. And it's nice to be able to get your hand on the table. Obviously, you can't. You don't want to be leaving any shot on the black, but the pressure is off in terms of you can put a couple.
Slight grimace, but that seems fine.
See, although you want the red that's in the bottom half of the table as your last ball, I think I might have been tempted to take it now, like take it then the one that she's just played, and left an angle on the one for the top right to be able to get down for the black. I know it's not when you started the route, that was going to be your last one, but I think that's a good advert for reassessing after every shot at the table.
Yeah, I agree totally. It just felt like she'd landed so nicely on that ball to the bottom and could have got good position then on the ones at the top.
Yeah.
Rather than forcing them to link up in a way that wasn't totally natural.
Oh.
Well, that's a good leave.
Nice parking.
It's not the first time this match we've seen the cue ball tight. Last time it was in the opposite corner pocket.
Well, that's 1-1, I think, because that one was Leanne, wasn't it? So. Oh, lovely pot. Oh, I thought she had it. Wow.
Yeah, when she hit that, it looked good.
Yeah.
Had 3 possible pots on that ball, none were easy. I elected to go with the thin cut. Surprising miss, not an easy one, but she's such a good cueist.
There's no conviction in the cueing. It was tentative. Oh, should I say? Yeah, tentative. Probably the right description. I'm trying to. Normally, she just drills them in. You know.
Yeah, I mean, and putting a positive strike on the ball normally makes it easier to hit as well. So, does Leanne think she can clip this ball in the left centre?
Yeah, I think she can. She's caught that too thick, and she's lost the white.
Oh, what a result that is for Kirsty. Ball in hand.
That was probably as thick as she could have got it and pot it than you could get. She had a lot more room to move on that. And again, another frame where it's just, I don't want it, you have it. I don't want, you know.
Yeah, it has been a scrappy match, hasn't it? They've both played some good shots, but there's been some elements of handling the frame back and forth. That shot, she just needed to favour the thin side, just try to get the cue ball on and off the left-hand side cushion. It was never going to be a good shot if she didn't involve the left cushion. You see, she could have clipped it very thin, but actually caught it almost half ball in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there was a way you could have sort of stunned it in and played down that line, but it was just unnecessary. It was better to just use the cushion, and then she will naturally travel.
Oh, she could have gone another quarter of an inch on that ball. She's, like I say, you couldn't have hit it any thicker and potted it than what she did. So she's going to be frustrated. She's just getting some words of encouragement there from Vicky Lomax, who's probably taking the mickey out for looking at her laugh. Probably teasing the life out of her, telling her how wonderful a shot she's just played.
It's always a key part of any ladies match, having the advice from Vicky offered from the sideline.
Oh yeah, definitely. So plenty of time in this match for Leanne.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the race to 7 is going to be such a factor anymore, because the pace doesn't suggest we're going to get through all those frames. But 15 minutes to play still.
But they have fallen very scrappy, haven't they? I know that obviously some of the shots have then dictated that because they've tied balls up, but even the breaks have left them, they've been pretty messy.
Yeah, it's by no means been a reflection of the standard of play. There have been some mistakes made for sure, but
yeah,
there's been some scrappy layouts.
Yeah, but that's a very loose shot for me. Yeah, and Leanne's swinging of the arms probably tells you that she feels the same way. But it is those fine shots with the new cloth and the new balls that I actually had. One shot in particular, it's just a simple dink, but the whites just kept going. It's gone through another 1.5 to 2 inches and just left it. And yeah, there's little things like that that are catching the players out. And like I say, you can see by Leanne's reaction, swinging her arm around like balloon. That's what's happened to her there. I think that's not a bad shout, actually. Kirsty was just looking at taking this red bottom left to take the one along the bottom row, because I don't think you want that as your last ball.
No, again, it's one of those ones where you might start off by thinking you want to clear the balls at the top of the table, but I kind of agree that if you remove those two and then you just leave an angle to get anywhere to the middle of the table, really. Yeah,
the way the 3 reds were at the top, that one on the bottom cushion, you could have literally just concentrated purely on the pot and would have been on one of those 3 at the top end of the table. And now I think the path from the one on the middle of the bottom rail to the black becomes a bit more, let's say, tricky. I mean, Kirsty's more than capable, but she's played that absolutely brilliant. See, what do we know? Look, drop it in, red in the middle. Oh, I don't know what the problem was. But I wasn't looking at that at all.
I think the problem is she's played a really good and really precise shot there. She left herself having to play that. I think what we're saying is if you play it the other way around, you've just got a bigger margin for error.
Yeah. Well, she's made it look very easy. And I certainly would not have chosen that route, should I say.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wobbles the 8 ball in. After the quality of that clearance, to have missed that black would have been unforgivable.
Would have been a travesty, wouldn't it?
So, have a look at this, just caught it way straight in. Actually quite lucky it dropped to catch quite a big part of the jaw.
She's almost played it as it sat, hasn't she? Yeah.
See the aerial view, you see Josh Kane in the corner of your eye in the bottom left-hand screen. Over in the other ladies semi-final, Casey Ranford-Norrie now 3-2 up on Amy Beecham. I mean, Casey's in a similar spot, I guess, to Leanne. Like, you're not surprised at all to see them having a deep run, but they're not necessarily the ones you would have picked to be a favourite for the final.
No, you wouldn't. I mean, obviously, I commentated on Champs match with Colette in the quarter-final, and Champs definitely is not on top of a game just like Kirsty isn't at the moment. That doesn't mean for 1 second that they can't just rattle off 2 or 3 frames back to back and play. But both of them are making mistakes or uncharacteristic mistakes that you're not used to from them. So, and yeah, coming off the back of 12 days playing in Ireland, in Ennis, for the World Championships, you know, the international players like Leanne and Casey, that form's being brought into here. But that's an unlucky kick in. for Kirsty, and you've just got a feeling with the 12 minutes, 12.5 minutes on the clock, Leanne really does need to make a hole in these.
Yeah, this is becoming a big frame, because after this frame there could well be sub 10 minutes remaining, and if it was to be a 3-frame deficit, that would be big, whereas if she wins the frame and it's only 1 behind, then suddenly it's anyone's again.
And again, they are all there. It's just that one tricky one that's towards the bottom left. And I think she actually could drop on it right now. Using this ball into the top right, she could track across. And if she goes too far, she's got it into the right centre. Yeah, she's played it. She'll take it. Or left centre even.
Just as you were saying.
Yeah.
No, it was a good line. The fact she was quite thin on that ball actually made that line much easier to pick out.
Yeah. Someone's just been shot.
Banging from the other side of the arena, but doesn't seem to have distracted Leanne too much. So this time it does make sense to take the 3 balls at the top of the table and come down for the 1 at the bottom.
Is the black pass bottom left?
Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? There might be a gap.
Obviously it'll play it, if you can play it off of the yellow, but
yeah, it'd be easier if it did. If not, she could drop this in and play it for the centre. Well, yeah, from this angle she could certainly drop it in and play it for the centre if she can't, or she can screw back.
I think she's a bit too straight. I think she would have liked to be able to stun across, but is she too straight? Again, I can't see from here, and even though I'm sitting here or looking at a screen, yeah, she's tried to pinch a little bit to be able to. And again, similar to the last one when Kirsty put the black on the centre of the bottom, again, Kirsty's got a free go here.
Yeah, she's just throwing in a slightly quick one there. I think she probably just had to play the cue ball behind the yellow, not try and cannon into it.
I think she was just a little bit too straight and tried to pinch too much.
Either way, it's a good chance for Kirsty to open up what's going to be a fairly big lead. Just heard the chime. We're into the last 10 minutes of the match, so down to the 15-second shot clock.
And I think this is also where the experience that Kirsty has had in the arena environment will come good. We saw it with Champs' game with Colette, and the embracing of the 15-second shot clock and clock management and playing the right shots, using the clock well, is an advantage over Leanne.
Well, that's a surprising miss.
And I know she was stretching, but you still would have expected her to get that.
She didn't have to do too much either. She didn't need to draw the cue ball back a bit, but it wasn't like it was a deep screw shot she was playing. Good effort from Leanne Cragg, but double goes wide. Quite a lot of space to play with here. Just needs the cue ball somewhere on the left-hand side of the table.
Yep. The left-hand side to straighten that back up.
Good advert for the table, really, isn't it? To be able that shot on slippery cloths can be very hard to play with the check side, but that took nicely off the cushion.
Yeah.
So 8-ball safely down, 3-frame lead established now, and a 3-frame lead with only 7:42 on the clock.
All to do for Leanne.
It's long enough to get back into it, but she's going to have to tighten up considerably, take the chances she gets. So we swing over to Casey Ranford-Norrie against Amy Beecham. Score still the same as when we checked in before the previous frame, 3-2 to Casey. Yellow ball slightly tied up in the middle of the table. Looks like it's going to be a good chance for Casey to open up a 2-frame lead here. Race to 7 this match for place in tonight's final. So 5-2 down, needs to win a minimum of 3 more frames in the remaining 7:42.
It's more than doable. And not when all the balls end up on cushions like that.
No, a dry break and one that's ended up a bit messy is a bad outcome. Even if Kirsty doesn't clear up, a bit of time could be wasted here.
Well, again, like I said, we saw that with Champs in the final, what ended up being the final frame. She used the clock, she pushed balls, you know, she waited patiently. And it just eats away at that clock. But with a 3-frame lead, you also expect, especially having a 3-frame lead, Kirsty trying to pull away even further and let her arm go now. And all she needs is one nice angle to be able to develop that yellow on the left-hand cushion. And I think she's just gone too far. That's what she was going for. She got a bit to pinch. She has. It's a lovely shot. I think she'll be able to drift through that gap between those reds down. No.
The fact she stayed at the table has helped. She's used up some time. The only thing she doesn't want to do is pop the loose balls and not complete the clearance, because then she will leave a chance for a counter-attack.
It's worked out very nice for her.
These 3 balls effectively for the match. 4-frame lead is going to be decisive at this stage. Just have done with rolling an inch further. It's just a little bit hampered now.
I think she can still just drop it in and roll off the bottom rail.
Ooh, that's a good nudge.
I think she'll take that all day long.
That could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
So, Kirsty-Lee Davies, 6 frames to 2 ahead, 5 minutes 21 remaining on the match clock. Very hard to see a way back for Leanne Cragg from here.
And your comment of we might not get a race to 7?
Yeah, we might comfortably get a race to 7 at that stage. It looked like the frames were taking too long. This is a race to 8. This is over in the men's pro series. This is pro event 8. Josh Kane 7-3 up on Rab McCulloch in this first to 8. The second of the 2 events this weekend. This one will be playing down to a finish tomorrow night. Bit of an overlap between the 2 events. Pro Series 7 will have the semis and final later on. That's the last 64 action. That's pretty much the last match of the last 64 underway on that table.
Yeah, there's already been some interesting results in that so far already, hasn't there?
Yeah, the big news is that Tom Cousins is out in the first round for the 2nd event in a row this weekend.
Jimmy Croxton he was playing, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, 8-6 in favour of Jimmy Croxton. Christophe Lambert also out, a player that's been doing well recently. Zach Cooper's continued his good form, beating Christy Caulfield 8-6. Declan Brennan, the other perennial favourite for these events, only squeaked through by a single frame.
Yep.
To do it the hard way, decider against 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Feels like there's been a lot of giant killing, particularly in the men's section, but a little bit in the ladies section, maybe not quite so much. Also been a lot of very close matches in the Pro Series. We've seen a lot of deciding frames.
I think the gap's closing all round, and again, it doesn't matter who's hosting, but if the prize money is available and it's out there and the conditions are out there, people will then put the work in and they'll put the practice in because there is proper money to win. Whereas when you're entering events, you're picking up a couple £100 here, a couple £100 there. It's when people have got jobs as well, it's like, well, I'd rather spend time doing X. Whereas when there's serious prize money on offer, it gives people the incentive to put the work in, and that will then in turn show in tournament play.
Yeah, the sound has gone up and up, hasn't it? And as the lower ranked pros have played the higher ranked pros more often, the sort of mystique and the fear factor has disappeared. So now everybody feels comfortable playing everyone else. Yeah.
Well, the novelty at first, it's like, oh, like I say, it's back to whatever the banner is on top of what you're playing. She's played that lovely.
Maybe it looked like it's drifting towards the corner, but that's turned out lovely. Now a very good chance to complete the victory within the time allocation.
Simple stun out for this black into the bottom right, and very convincing score line, but it certainly doesn't reflect the way the match went, does it?
No, I mean, she was actually pushed quite hard at the beginning. It was sounds strange to say, well, we're now going to see this as a 7-2 scoreline, but it was a match that could have gone either way. Leanne Cragg's going to leave the arena with an air of disappointment. She had some good moments early on in that match, and she had some chances to have gone a bit further, but ultimately it is Kirsty-Lee Davies who goes through by 7 frames to 2.